I think it's pretty safe to say that by far the true face of the Star Wars franchise has got to be Anakin Skywalker, who ultimately becomes Darth Vader and redeems himself to save his son from Emperor Palpatine. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to have many different connections to the prequels and the originals, as well as Star Wars Legends. That's going to be used as inspirational source material by director J.J. Abrams to tell a very unique and original story in this film to really benefit the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren. Now, with that being said, we do know that Ian McDiarmid is back for the role of Palpatine and that he really put all his heart and soul into this role in order to really deliver, the perfect lines for Palpatine and the perfect experience for Palpatine, for the audience specifically, to enjoy this version of Sidious in comparison to how he actually used that character in the prequels and the originals. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions as well as one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very intense for the characters of Anakin Skywalker and, of course, Emperor Palpatine. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Rey and Kylo Ren are said to be standing in the middle of Palpatine's throne room, where they are said to be in a confrontation with the Dark Lord of the Sith. It's explained that Palpatine is said to be giving both Rey and Kylo Ren a lecture about the power of the beyond and the origins of the dark side, where Sidious is said to deliver a line of dialogue to both Rey and Kylo Ren that explains that Sidious was the one who created the Skywalkers, starting with using Shmi Skywalker as a vessel to create Anakin. It's explained that Sidious had learned this ability and was testing it after learning of such an ability through his master Darth Plagueis, and that Palpatine explains to Rey that she is another example of him adopting his master's powers. It's explained that this scene was inspired by the original script of Revenge of the Sith, where Palpatine reveals to Anakin that in a way he is his father, since he created him through the ways of the Force, and that J.J. Abrams wanted to explore new Force powers that would add to the medium of the Star Wars franchise. It said that this was a scene that was a part of the reshoots during the month of August and involved Ian McDiarmid reviewing the old scripts of Episode 3 that inspired the lines of dialogue. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that J.J. Abrams has a lot of revelations in store for the fans from start to finish of this movie. Even Ian McDiarmid, said that this movie is going to have a lot of saga-wide implications in the actual film, so keep your eyes open for that. Now, the thing about this particular scenario, it brings us back to, yes, the Darth Vader comics in late 2018, where we do in fact see Sidious manipulating Shmi Skywalker and literally initiating the birth of Anakin within her. Now, it's a very interesting comic. I do suggest that you guys go ahead and check it out. And it really seems like that JJ is trying to play off of that comic book to really make it a thing in the live-action movie itself. And this also stems from George Lucas and his original attempt at his I am your father moment in Episode 3, where Palpatine unveils to Anakin that he created him and that you can call me your father. So very interesting stuff, the fact that they really are going to the roots of the original scripts of Revenge of the Sith and kind of borrowing elements from that. But the more mind-blowing area has all to do with, of course, the fact that Palpatine also reveals that Rey is yet another example of him adopting his master's power from Darth Plagueis. Now, as Palpatine said to Anakin in Episode 3 that Plagueis had the ability to create life, and that's exactly what Palpatine learned and was testing with many years ago, and what he actually did in order to create Rey, that was actually a part with her parents. Now, what I like about Episode 9 so far is that we do know that JJ wants to explore new Star Wars lore that surrounds the Jedi, the Sith, and the Force in general. When it all comes down to the Force itself, we do know that Palpatine is going to be using it in different ways by the power of the Beyond. Now, the power of the Beyond, by the way, is said to exceed both the dark and the light, and is said to be the powerful Dark Nexus. Alright, the Dark Nexus, that's actually the very center center of the actual unknown regions where Palpatine is actually hiding on the world of Exegol. So this nexus, if you will, this force nexus that's associated with the dark side, is said to be by far the most powerful one in the galaxy that allows Sidious to use such abilities as force storms and the force conduit technique that we will be seeing in this movie once it releases in theaters, and of course in the upcoming international trailer and TV spots to come. So that's another thing to look forward to, is to see exactly how Ian is going to portray the role of Palpatine in such a different way. That's really going to excite fans around the world, and is really going to make us look at the character of Darth Sidious in a different way in comparison to how we really looked at him in the originals and the prequels, etc. So J.J. Abrams, he does have the opportunity to mark this film as the best film of the Skywalker saga without a doubt. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.